Hello, everyone. We are here with another demonstration, cooking demonstration from the Middletown Senior Center. I am Laura, and this is my beautiful daughter, Olivia.
Hi.
And today we're going to be demonstrating how to make the applesauce oatmeal cookies, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, get the instructions out and take a look at what we need to do. The first thing we need to do, it says, is preheat the oven to 350. So we have that going. The oven's preheating. And then the next thing is just lightly grease a baking sheet and put it aside. So Olivia's going to go ahead and do that. And then just put it aside, Olivia.
Yep.
And next, what we're going to do is just kind of get prepared for what we're going to need. So we're going to need a large mixing bowl. We're going to need, of course, a spoon. We're going to use 1 cup measuring cup, a half a cup, and then, of course, a 1/4 of a cup, okay? So we're going to start with combining the oats, the pumpkin, applesauce, and sweetener, and mix well in the bowl. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the oats. Now the oats, you have to measure because there's more than what you need in this Ziploc. So Olivia, go ahead and measure out 2 cups of the rolled oats and go ahead and put that in the bowl. And I'm going to start with opening up the organic pumpkin. Everyone's got a can of this. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up while Olivia's putting 2 whole cups in there. And this recipe is really good for you for a couple of reasons. Number one, instead of sugar, we're using applesauce as the sweetener, which is great because if you're looking for a low-calorie snack, this will be ideal, okay? So this is called pumpkin puree. Let me get that so you can see it. Pumpkin puree. It is not pumpkin pie filling. They are not one and the same. They are different, okay? So the recipe calls for a half a cup of this. So we're going to use our half a cup. And Olivia, why don't you put that in? Let me throw this away in the trash. And there is a difference between the pumpkin pie filling and the pumpkin puree. So make sure that you're using the puree and not the filling, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do is grab the applesauce because, again, that's what we're going to use as a sweetener, okay? So the recipe calls for a half a cup of unsweetened applesauce. So in your little baggie, you have 2 containers of unsweetened applesauce. So you're going to measure out a half a cup. So Olivia, use a half a cup and measure the applesauce. Oh, what a good helper she is today. So there's also, the recipe also says a 1/4 of a cup of granulated sweetener of choice. You could use coconut palm sugar. You could use stevia or any of the artificial type sweeteners. You can use those. So here you go. This is 1/4 cup, okay? Now, in this container, we have cinnamon, okay? Or you could do any type of apple pie spice. You could do nutmeg. You could do clove, whatever you like. The recipe calls for a tablespoon of cinnamon or apple pie spice, okay? It's optional. If you don't like cinnamon, you don't have to put it in. Measure that out. And then just add it. We'll just add it right into the bowl, okay? If you would like also what you could put in to give yourself some more protein, 2 tablespoons peanut butter, but we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna withhold the peanut butter, but you could certainly add it if you'd like. Gives a great flavor and that extra bit of protein. So now we're just gonna, let me see if I can get the thing down. I don't know, Olivia, can you lift that up so they could kind of see into the bowl and check out what it looks like? So you're just gonna incorporate all those ingredients together. And again, you have the pumpkin puree, you have the cinnamon, you have the applesauce, and the sweetener. And like I said, you could use stevia or any of the artificial sweeteners that are, you know, low cal or no cal, in fact. And it's gonna form like a paste. So once you have that incorporated, we're gonna grab our cookie sheet. And this is when you get a little bit messy, but that's okay, it's fun. You're gonna use your hands and you are just gonna form 12 balls and place them on the lightly greased cooking sheet, okay? So you're gonna take a little blob of that, roll it around in your hands, form it into a nice ball like that, almost like a little meatball. And you're gonna place that right in the cookie tray. And you're gonna do that until you used all of the mixture. When you put them on the cooking sheet, give it a good inch space between the other cookies. You don't wanna crowd them, and you want them to spread, and you want them to have room to do that, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and just continue making these cookies, and then we're gonna go ahead and pop them in the oven. Now, the cooking time varies. It's between 12 and 15 minutes, depending on how you want the consistency to be, okay? If you want them to be a little bit more crispy, you keep them in for a little bit longer. And then once they're done, you're gonna remove them and allow them to cool completely on a rack. And then when you have a craving, or like I said, for low-cal dessert, these are, let's see. Oh, you could also use nut butter instead of peanut butter, which is also very good for you. We're just finishing up the last bit of the cookie dough right now. They smell amazing. I personally like pumpkin. I love pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin flavoring. And they're all set. So Olivia's gonna go ahead and put that in the oven. And then we'll get back to you when they're ready.
Yeah. She's gonna have to cut this out. That's fine.
So we're back. It's time to take them out of the oven. I could tell you that, whoops, they smell outstanding, okay? The pumpkin, the cinnamon, it's really coming through. So I'm gonna grab them out of the oven. I'm not gonna be able to taste test it because they'll be too hot, but they smell incredible. Oh my God, they smell so good. So they pretty much keep the shape. Let me, okay, so they didn't really flatten out too much, but they smell absolutely incredible. Don't they smell
Yeah,
good?
they do.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cool these off in the fridge so that we could get to taste testing them. Good luck. I'm sure you're gonna do fine. They smell incredible. Take care.